You don't get to let yourself into my home with a master key and call it protocol. That's not how this works. But there she was, Meredith Langston, standing in my hallway like she paid the mortgage. HOA badge bouncing on her chest, clipboard in hand, cool as a cucumber. Said she was doing a routine inspection. Board approved. I looked her dead in the eye and said, I am the board when it comes to this house. What she didn't know was every time she crossed that threshold, my system logged her. Silent alerts. Timestamps. GPS pings. Archived. I built that firmware myself. My name's Nora Davis. Used to be a network security analyst. Now I'm a single mom, full-time homeowner, living in the house my father built with his own hands in 1983. And I don't play nice with clipboard warriors trying to erase my family's legacy like they just discovered the Constitution. It all started with a note. Isn't that always how the weird power plays begin? Some printed violation about my garden hose not being coiled properly, section 4.2. Eli, my teenage son, joked we should hang it on the fridge like a gold star. I laughed. That was before the second one came 3 days later. Unauthorized decorative fixture. They were talking about the wind chimes. The ones Dad carved for Mom during their first spring year. That stung. See, this place isn't just beams and plumbing, it's where Eli learned to ride his bike. Where my dad planted the magnolia tree for Mom on their 25th. That tree survived hurricanes. Meredith. She can't even handle a mild disagreement. By the third notice, some nonsense about how my car overhung the driveway, I stopped laughing. I emailed the board. Got radio silence. Followed up again, and they gaslit me. You must have misinterpreted the tone. Right. Your vehicle will be towed without further notice, is just a suggestion, apparently. That's when I started keeping a file. Scanned every letter. Photographed every so-called violation. Installed more cameras. Eli rerouted our home server through his VPN and backed up the feeds to 3 separate encrypted clouds. I told him, you can't hack HOA stupidity. He smirked. You don't have to hack it, you just document it. Then it got real. I came home early one afternoon, client cancelled and saw a motion alert. Back door open. I froze. Eli was at school. Nobody else had a key. I walked in and found her, Meredith, in my kitchen, reading my mother's handwritten cornbread recipe mounted above the stove. Your door was unlocked, she lied. Said they were checking the gas line. I said, I don't have gas. I have an electric range. She didn't even blink, just walked out, like I was the one interrupting her day. That night, Eli and I sat under the magnolia, quiet. He leaned back on the swing Dad built when he was born and said, they're pushing us because they think we'll fold. I looked at him and said, we're not moving. Not now. Not ever. He grinned. Then let's make them regret trying. Next morning, the boy rerouted every camera to triple redundancy. We had footage clear, unedited of Meredith letting herself in, looking smug, not a care in the world. You could hear her clipboard scrape against the doorframe. We didn't take it to a lawyer. Not yet. Because I know how these people play. They don't deal in truth. They deal in procedure. And I've been in digital security long enough to know you don't come out swinging. You let them build the fire around themselves. They tried. Oh, they tried. We got another violation, this time for the magnolia tree. Said its roots were encroaching on public sidewalk space. That tree's been rooted in the same spot since Reagan. They are proof. A blurry photo from a weird angle. But in the photo, I saw something else, someone standing behind the trunk, watching. Arms crossed. Face half lit. Denise Keller. Used to be my mom's friend. Now she was HOA secretary. Always quiet. Always neutral. But in that photo she looked on. Then came the yellow tag on the swing, remove or face fines. That did it. I went digging through Dad's old cedar chest. Found the deed and the easement agreement he signed in 1983. Swing, tree, even the side path to the shed all protected. Grandfathered in. We uploaded the docs, labeled the folder HOA Legacy, and waited. Then Denise slipped us a note. Not a text. Not an email. A folded piece of paper through our fence. Said the board was planning to rewrite the bylaws section 12C. Random safety checks would become legal. She couldn't vote no publicly, but if just 3 board members didn't back it, they couldn't pass it. So we attended the next meeting. Sat in the back. Didn't speak. Just watched. Meredith spotted me and froze for half a second. Agenda changed. New line item, unauthorized surveillance devices. I leaned over to Eli. They know. He smiled. Good. 2 days later, a fresh notice appeared, this time in red ink, accusing us of unregistered modifications and suspicious tech setups. Eli shook his head. They're digging with a spoon into a concrete wall. That same afternoon, Denise showed up again. Didn't say a word. Just passed by, dropped something between the fence slats. Another note. They'll try to pass it next month. They'll say it's about lighting or landscaping, but it's you they're after. That night, I opened Dad's old binder, every HOA vote, every amendment, scribbled with his notes. Eli looked at me and said, "This isn't just us anymore." And he was right. It wasn't. I called an old friend, Eliza Monroe. Used to be a paralegal. Now works on HOA abuse cases. I gave her everything: letters, footage, bylaw edits. She said, "I'll build you a paper shield they can't punch through." That night, we scanned 60 pages, labeled every folder, color-coded the footage logs. We hid hard copies behind a loose brick in the Goregion old hiding spot Dad once used for emergency cash. Then came the twist. In the basement, behind old shelving, we found a locked cabinet. Inside, a green envelope, a USB drive, a notebook, Dad's handwriting. He'd logged Meredith's master key use. Dates. Times. Except some dates didn't match the HOA's official logs. She'd been letting herself in for months. Without any oversight. We made copies. Shared them with Eliza. And Denise. She finally cracked. Gave us her proxies. Helped 3 neighbors understand what was coming. We prepped flyers, visuals, side-by-side comparisons of logs, inspection dates, board overreach. The night of the public hearing, the gymnasium buzzed like a courtroom drama. Families filed in. People wore shirts that said "Accountability Matters." I stepped up first. Told the story. Played the video. Showed the easement. Marissa, Eli's friend's mom, stood next, said she saw Meredith leave our porch uninvited. Then Denise stepped up, held her phone up, and played the recording. Meredith's voice: "If you don't log it, it never happened." You could feel the room tilt. Meredith exploded, called it a witch hunt, and stormed out. The motion passed. Audit approved. Keys revoked. Every lock replaced. Today, the swing still creaks. The magnolia still drops petals. But neighbors wave more. Leave pie on porches. The board's gone quiet. And for once our home actually feels like home again. And yeah, maybe Meredith will come back. Maybe she'll try to stir the pot again. But now we've got the blueprint, the receipts, and a community that knows better. So tell me, have you ever had to stand your ground against an HOA power trip? Ever seen quiet resistance turn into something bigger? Drop your story in the comments, and let me know where you're watching from. Let's talk about what real community looks like.